Hi, welcome to ClojureScript episode 6. I'm Zubair, I'm your host, and today I'll show you how to make a HelloWorld application from scratch. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll make the project using Leiningen. Now, just so you know, Leiningen is the build system for ClojureScript. Here it is on GitHub. And here's the basic usage. I've already installed Leiningen. I'm not going to show you how to install it because it varies a bit depending on whether you're on Windows or Mac, and I'm on the Mac, so I've already installed it. Anyway, let's make a new project. Just so you can see where I've installed Leiningen. Should be here. Here it is. It's just a shell file which I've downloaded and put in my home directory, which is what I think the instructions said. Yeah. Well, they said I should have set the path as well, but I haven't done that. And I've already used this self-installed thing, so Leiningen loaded a lot of dependencies. Okay, so let's make an application. Line. Let's see. Line new hello world CLJS. Oh, it's not found. Okay. I'm always switching between Mac and Windows and Linux, so I often get confused with the different commands. Okay, so it's made a basic project. So there should be a directory called HelloWorld now, CLJS, and inside it's got a basic project, project.clj. Okay, so now let's go into Light Table and edit this project. I have these files from the last time I was in here. I'm not sure how to get rid of them. Maybe I just refresh Light Table. Excuse me. Okay, they seem to have gone now. So now I'll add a folder. Hello World CLJS. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is edit project.clj, and this is the build description for Leiningen. None of this stuff seems to matter actually. Anyway, let's build it just to make sure. Okay, so line compile. Okay, so Leiningen's compiled what we had, but we didn't really have anything. So what we need now is we need a plugin for Leiningen which will compile ClojureScript, which I'll show you now. Also on GitHub. Here's the plugin. So we need to add this to the project.cljs, this file here. So if we don't have this, then Leiningen only works with Clojure. And we also need these properties to be set. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else we need. Okay. So let's put a JavaScript in. HelloWorld CLJS.js. And we'll just call the source so that it can look for the ClojureScript source here. There's already a core.clj here generated, and it doesn't really do anything. Since we're in Light Table, we can even evaluate it. In fact, they already print Hello World. But what we want to do is to print Hello World to the browser. They just print it to the console here. Oh, here you can see the output. Okay, that's quite useful. I haven't seen this before. I thought it was only for the browser output. So presumably you can print anything there. Okay. So that's a little aside there, but that's one of the default things that's made when you generate a new ClojureScript or a new Clojure project. Okay, so what we were doing before I went off on a tangent was we were trying to make a Leiningen project, and we wanted it to be a Hello World application for the web browser. I think some of these things are actually not needed. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's see how do we compile this again. So line clean. Here, CLJS build once. Okay, so okay, it says successful, but we don't have any ClojureScript yet. So let's delete this and start. So let's make namespace. You have to have a namespace at the top of every ClojureScript file. CLJS. Dot HelloWorld. You can save this as no. In fact, save it as core or main. Okay, so now we have a basic file. Now let's try and compile again. Okay, so it should have now made this file called HelloWorld CLJS. Yes, it has. And if you look at that file, it should be ClojureScript compiled to JavaScript with simple optimizations. Yeah, you can see it doesn't look, it's not very readable. Anyway, maybe we should turn it on to autosave so that whenever we make a change, it will rebuild itself automatically. Okay. So let's just test that. It hasn't changed. Oh, I have to say. Yep, it's compiling. Okay, so we don't have to keep going back to the command line and starting line again. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is make a web page so that we can do something. We can have ClojureScript interact with something. Okay, we'll save it as hw.html, and then let's open it. So we open a browser. See if we can open it like this. No. I'm currently in Germany, which is why this T-Mobile thing's come up. Okay, so I just copied the URL from another browser, just easier for now. Okay, so you'll notice there isn't anything in here. Maybe put it here. I'll just copy the URL into the project CLJ, so I've got easy access to it next time. Okay, so we can't see anything here, but in fact there is text, and that's because of the default styles of the web page. And we have this black background in Light Table. So let's just make a basic style. We can say body. So this is just a CSS style. Normally you'd use CSS style sheets, but this is just quicker for now. So we could say body color white. Okay, so now we have white text. Okay, so now we have a dummy web page, but we want to connect it to ClojureScript. So as you know, we generate this HelloWorld CLJS JavaScript file from ClojureScript. So we want to include that JavaScript file inside the web page. So we can do that by amending the HTML. So JavaScript include in HTML. So here's an example. This is a nice thing in Light Table that you can just move the web page quite easily. So we called it Hello World CLJS. Hello World CLJS.js. Okay, so let's now try and interact with the web page. Let's make a div that we can amend. Okay, so now let's go here. Now, to amend elements on a web page, we need to have some sort of DOM manipulation library. Now, I know I've showed Dominer in some of the other video casts, but the basic UI library that comes with ClojureScript is the UI library for Google Clojure, which is Google Clojure UI. So we should include that in our project. So I'm actually going to copy some of the stuff from one of the other projects I've got. So you can see here we include the Google Clojure library here at the top. So let's just take this one line. We'll put it here. No, so it's here. Now, whenever we add a dependency, we have to restart the Leiningen server. Because it needs to download stuff. Oh, maybe with Google Clojure. Okay, maybe it doesn't in this case. Oh, okay, it's because... Oh, okay, this is because if you add a... Okay, I don't know why. Maybe it's already... Oh, maybe this is already downloaded from another project I've done. Because I was expecting it to download this again, but it didn't. Okay, so let's just remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to interact with this web browser. We have a div here, which is which has got the ID HW. So now from here we need to talk to the web page. I think it's trying to connect based on what it's based on this. I'm not sure what these are. But next we'll also have to look at the Google Clojure UI library itself. Google Clojure UI. So here you can see the documentation from Google itself. And now but what we're looking for is the Google DOM part of Google UI, dom.js. Google DOM get element. before we can use that, we have to add a require into the namespace. I'll look at ClojureScript 1, which is a great project. Okay, so here group.dom. Okay. Something wrong there. Some problem here. So let's see what is the problem. Group.dom. Dom. Oh. Let's just see if everything compiled okay. Okay, you should always go back to this window when you're not sure, because you can see if there's a problem, because every time you make a change it compiles everything again. Okay. So hopefully this time it will connect. I'm learning along with you here. Let's just... Okay, so it's loaded. Okay, so now it should try and connect to the web page. Let's check the namespace. NS HelloWorld CLJS.main. Require group.dom as DOM. We can also have a look at another project just to make sure that we've got the syntax right. Require. That looks okay. Okay, let's try a command. Oh, okay, so it's working. I don't know why we didn't get anything here. Okay. Okay. So element that doesn't exist, we get nil. One that does exist, we get this object. So here you can see this is the function called getElement. Then the next thing is we want to set the text on the element. Actually, that's going to be about it. Actually, group.dom set text content. Group.dom. Set text content now. Hello world. ClojureScript. Oh, okay. So that worked. now if we reload the page, it says Hello World ClojureScript. Let's test this from a browser outside. Oh, and now it doesn't work. Here's why. Background's white, text is black. So what we can do, okay, so the Hello World ClojureScript. So this is Hello World in ClojureScript. So just briefly, what we did was, firstly, we made a project. We created a project with Leiningen, this tool, using where is it? We made a project with this Leiningen new. Then that created a directory in it, which had some basic files in it, which I'll show you here. And it's got a file called project.clj, and that file contains the definition of the Clojure or ClojureScript project. Then we added a plugin called CLJS build, and that plugin is here, and that lets us compile not only Clojure but ClojureScript as well. And then we also added this, which shows where our source code is for ClojureScript here, and where the output's going to be, the JavaScript output, which we include in the web page, which is here. And we also included the Google Clojure library, which is their default UI library, which is Google Clojure UI. Here, more information. Here. Anyway, so there's some demos on their website. So this is the Google Clojure library. So we included that as well, and then we once we had the Leiningen stuff set up, then we made this ClojureScript file where we created a namespace which included the Google Clojure UI stuff, and then we interacted with the web page we defined, which has an element called HW, and then in ClojureScript we say get the element with ID HW, and then we set the text to Hello World ClojureScript. We tested it, and it works within Light Table, and it also works outside of Light Table, and you can see here the same file. So hopefully that's helped a little bit, and that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.